It can't be my mother or father because they're not with us anymore.
We do. All right. Well, Jim, we have a caller on the line. All right. So,
sure.
Caller, can you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and ask away with what you want to ask away with?
Okay, this is Jeff from Boca Raton, Florida, also known as Doc. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Doc, what's happening? See, Doc's going to be with us at the Mohegan Sun. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
All right.
Hey, you're welcome. Hey, this is an unsolicited call, and I just want to let everyone know I was part of the posse that hit the $300,000 pick six at Santa Anita in 2016. So Jim can do it, and I'm sure we will do it again this year. So that's a live testimony to Jim's success. But
I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's on, and the video is on his website. So I also encourage everyone to enjoy the what a real big six-figure win can look like. But hey, real quick, let's turn to Bob Baffert. He's got 3 contenders, and they're all vulnerable as co-favorites. And let's see if we can kind of vet him out. So hey, Jim, what do you think of Bast, 8 Rings, and McKenzie? They all have their kind of Achilles heel. Starting with Bast?
Yeah, absolutely. There's these key prep races, and Bast won the one that was out in California. And it is a race that has produced a winner of the Juvenile Fillies, where she's in several times at Santa Anita. But I did not like the way she finished. But you really, it's so hard to throw out Bob Baffert on his home court. And, Jeff, I was thinking about this today, driving back and forth from lunch, that as much as I want to play against some of these Santa Anita horses, I look back at the history, and they're just so dominant when that Breeders' Cup is held there that I'm remiss about throwing them out altogether. But you know as well as I do that we play A teams and B teams, and I think the thing to do is to protect ourselves and try to beat them with someone else, but have them up there just in case.
Right.
I think 8 Rings has got a tough road. He's going to go right to the front, as you know. And in that particular race, there are 2 other horses that I think, and they're not any great mysteries. Dennis's Moment coming out of Churchill and Maxfield coming out of Keeneland are both quality colts that hopefully we'll see running in the Kentucky Derby next year. But Dennis's Moment seems like he is absolutely the real deal, and I would say that is one of my top choices. I just hope that he can break past the Santa Anita curse, because that track out there is going to play a little bit differently, and I think that the horses that have been training on it might have an advantage because it's a little bit deep, because of all the accidents that they've had out there. They don't want another accident during the Breeders' Cup. McKenzie. Initially I was totally against McKenzie, but the more I look at that field and look at his numbers and what he's done, I can't say that I can throw him out. No way. So he's not a single though. What do you think?
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna throw a horse in your court, and I'm sure we'll have a chance to reconnect when we all get up to Mohegan. But I was looking at the distaff, and I'll tell you, Ollie's Candy is interesting because I was looking back at Stellar Wynn's profile when she came into the Breeders' Cup a few years back, and she had bounced going from the Zenyatta and into the Breeders' Cup, so she couldn't compete with Songbird and Beholder, but Sadler has kind of reconstructed the pathway to the distaff this year. And that last race is sneaky good with Ollie's Candy. And she's had 3 monster workouts since that race, including a work that was just shy of Chancelot's spin the other day. So I'm going to take a chance, and I think we should try to beat Midnight Bisou and going to try to give Ollie's Candy a chance. So one from my side of the equation.
That's exactly what we should be doing. And what we should be doing is taking the Santa Anita horses and stacking them up against Midnight Bisou. And you might take Ollie's Candy, you might take Paradise Woods, who won the race against Ollie's Candy. And maybe even take a look at Secret Spice. Maybe that horse gets out on the front end and doesn't stop this time. So those would be 3 that I would use to try to beat what could be one of the heaviest favorites on the 2-day card, Midnight Bisu, who has done nothing wrong in her career. She's only 7 for 7 this year, and certainly deserves status.
Let me throw one more question out, and I'll get back to my patients. But, in the remainder of the Breeders' Cup, who is the heavy favorites that we haven't mentioned? Who do you think is most vulnerable?
Well, I was going to say Magical until she was scratched.
Yeah.
That was somebody I was definitely looking to play against. I would say Kofifi would be high on my list. I don't trust those 3-year-olds in the filly and mare sprint. Even though they won last. See, Andrew, this is one of those deals. A 3-year-old hasn't won this race. As a group, they were like 0 for 25. And last year they won.
Wow. Okay.
So now they're 1 for 25.
That's where it goes against the stats.
Right. So that's who I would say, Doc. And you have a safe trip up. We'll see you Thursday night, right?
Excellent, Jim. Thanks, guys. Till then, and best of luck, everyone, with the Breeders' Cup. Take care.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Doc, for tuning in. That was honestly, Jim, that was as good of a lesson for me and the Romo Sapiens as possibly could have happened right there. It might have sounded a little bit like a foreign language, but I think I got a little bit of what you were talking about right there.
We do have our own lingo. There's no question about it. So.
But that's great, and it's fun, and it's cool that you've set up a following that you have, and it clearly sounds like the people that do follow progressive handicapping really do have a trust in you. So before you get out of here, okay, because I do this with every guest on the Rome Show, okay, I want you to leave the Romo Sapiens with one thing, right? It could be anything you want to leave them with, but if there's one thing they leave Jim Mazur's interview with today, what may that one thing be?
It's to get up in the day and have a good time, and get yourself focused on what you want to do. Try to get past all the garbage that is in this very, very complicated world that we're in, and do the right thing. When you're out there with your family and your friends, but have a good time and chase your dream. And that's something that I've done, and I'm so lucky to be able to do what I like to do, and sit here and do horses all day. And I want to say congratulations to you, because I know you're chasing a dream as well. And I heard that you had a successful interview, and you're hopefully going to be employed. So in another position. So that's great news. And you keep doing what you're doing, and keep doing the radio show. That's fun.
Well, I appreciate it, Jim. I very, very much appreciate it. I appreciate your time today. I appreciate the knowledge you dropped on us about the ponies. I appreciate your fans, Doc. Much appreciate for calling in, and I look forward to scheduling some time to get you back here as we turn the calendar over and get ready for those big cups that you say a lot of those novice Romo Sapiens may want to bet on.
We will, and look for Duke to have another good basketball team this year. And you know what? I've seen the Miami Heat, who I never even watched until the end of the year, and they look very exciting this year. They have some young players. I think they're going to be a good team.
I agree with you, 100%.
Take care, everybody.
You have a good one, Jim. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Again, that is Jim Mazur, the president of Progressive Handicapping. That website is proghandicap.com. The number to call Jim is 800-272-8039. We appreciate Jim's fans that tuned in, as well as Doc for calling in. I mean, wow, some of that horse racing stuff is way over my head. Rube, I'm going to say we hang on to the commercial for the end of the show, since we went a little bit over on the interview, and we can just finish it up here, and then we'll go to commercial at 2 o'clock. I mean, Jim and Doc were talking about Olives Candy and Paradise Woods and Secret Spice, and I think here's my issue with the ponies, and it's not an issue more so than it's probably my ADD, is that I think it's hard for me to concentrate when they're talking about horse racing because the names then all of a sudden distract me. I'm like, the horse's name is Secret Spice. That's really funny, And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what did he just say about Secret Spice? And then it's like, but I'm seriously talking about Olives Candy, and so I think that's where I need to maybe mature a little bit in the pony game. And care less about the names. So we appreciate Jim coming on. A lot of stuff to learn there. Get over to his website, call in, do whatever you want to do in terms of putting your money down on the ponies November 3rd and 4th. You can go up to Connecticut and be with him. So do that. Do that if you're interested. I might be a little interested as well. So we got about 5 minutes left here on the Rome Show before we finish. And I wanted to, obviously, I have some Romalytics here for you. But I also wanted to get a little bit into what I talked about earlier on in the show, which was home field advantage. And close out if there's any calls, 609-807-2492. I see on the Facebook some people's tuning in. Mom, Grandma, Katie Fissel, thank you so much. You know I love you. My mom said we may have created some horse racing fans today. I agree, Deb. I agree. I think we might have some people that are going to pony up, pun intended, this weekend, some of their bananas and follow Jim's advice. I know the Rome Show will be, and we'll get back to you next Monday on that. Your Romalytics, maybe one day sponsored by Progressive Handicapping since they do statistics. Your Romalytics comes from the NFL Variety this week, October 28th, here on the Rome Show. Bill Belichick became the third winningest coach in NFL history on Sunday. He won his 300th football game, third all time. And I wanted to give you some stats on Bill Belichick. And there's simple stats, but they're stats that I believe depict the best coach in sports history. And if not the best, top two, you can't even argue. Maybe top three, depending on who you put in. But arbitrary, best coach in sports, at least right now, Bill Belichick. 300 wins in the National Football League. He's the third coach ever to hit the 300-win mark. He has 6 Super Bowl championships as a head coach, which is the most all-time. He has 8 total Super Bowl championships if you include the 2 he won with the New York Football Giants underneath Bill Parcells. 9 times Bill Belichick as a head football coach has shown up to the Super Bowl, which is the most as a head coach in NFL history. He has 18 seasons of 10 or more wins. 18 seasons of 10 or more wins. 17 of which were with the New England Patriots. 1 with the Cleveland Browns, who he beat to win his 300th game as fittingly as possible. You're telling me that you can hate on that guy? Like, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm a fan of a team in the AFC East. Nobody, at least for this week, 1 week, you're not allowed to hate on Bill Belichick, because the Romalytics today just showed you that A, he's the greatest football coach in history, but B, he might be the greatest coach in history. So no pooping on Bill Belichick, at least for this week. Because I think by the time it's all said and done, he's going to have the most wins in NFL history. He's probably going to still have the most Super Bowls, most Super Bowl appearances, and probably have 20-plus seasons of 10 or more wins. In the last few minutes here, a bonus Romalytic for you this week is that Tiger Woods also did a little bit of what Bill Belichick did. He tied Sam Snead for the most PGA Tour wins of all time at 82. I posed this question. We won't answer it now, but I'll probably pose it on the gram. Does Tiger win his 83rd? Does Tiger win his 83rd? I'm going to say yes. Is it this year? Yes, but I don't think it's a major. But I do think he gets to 83. Real quick before we get out of here, I just want to let you know that the poll evened itself out a little bit, okay? 60% now say that baseball is the sport in which home field advantage matters the most. Then you have another 20% on football, and then 10 and 10 on hockey and basketball. I disagree.